I'm doing it by phone. What's up, everybody? We are running a little behind today. I apologize. This is actually not the light skinned guy's fault this time. Some technical difficulties. But I am obviously at work, so doing the best that I can over here. Corey, what's up, bro?
It's good, man.
We get along better in NFL than we do NBA, so it's all good. And I know you
Definitely.
got the Lions today. I know you got the Lions. You're not gonna do me like that.
Detroit Lions?
Yeah, Detroit Lions. Come on, bro.
I don't know, man. They ready for cold? They ready for like coldish weather in Baltimore? I don't know if they built for that.
So here's my thing on that, and I was thinking about that. The temperature right now is what
It's not
about?
about 50. It'll be 55, 60 game time.
Yeah. So is that real? Does that really matter if we don't have rain and wind and things like that? Does that really matter?
Probably not, honestly, but I think there might be some rain on the horizon, but I know it's not. It's not the same as a dome.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
So
But
we'll get into it. But they're also lack physicality. I think they're going to miss Montgomery a bunch. Gibbs is not the same type of running back.
yeah, did they upgrade Ibrahim? I didn't check on that.
I didn't either, actually. That's a good call. I don't know if he's NFL ready, but he was obviously a beast in college.
Yeah, and that was crazy to me. I thought he was going to be on their roster, but I guess he got hurt during the preseason, and that set him back a little. Ronnie, you probably can't hear us, but we can hear you. So if you want to interject, that
It
works.
works. I can
Oh, it
hear
works.
you.
Oh,
It
oh
works.
snap!
Yeah.
Hey, shout
We're
out to the
good.
admin IT department.
We need some
uh,
we need some
all right,
IT help
so
bad.
Corey let me down, but I know you team meathead today, right? You got the Lions.
No, well, I would say that I think it's 78% of the bets are on the Lions. So
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
bad sign. I thought this was a trap game. Honest, I'm not trying to be a hater. I think they're really good. My first instinct would be for them to be winning, but I think it's a trap. Not a trap game, but just a tough game. You're going on the road
Baltimore football
against
team.
a very physical team. What?
Yeah, it reminds me of the same spot I talked about last week with San Fran going into the Browns or Philly going into the Jets. You going into, and granted, the Ravens aren't their traditional physical football team they used to be, but they're still physical. There's still a smash mouth element to it, and the only physical person on your team on the offense is out. It just spells trouble to me. That's all.
And of course, we do have the best linebacker in the league in Roquan Smith, who Allen hated on for years and
I did
years and
not. I
years.
just
Yes,
said
you
It's
he
did.
wasn't
not
worth
Yes, you
he
that
did.
wasn't worth the
Yes, you
money he
did.
was
it's
asking
not
for at that time. I said he was not worth the money he was asking for at that time. Is what I said. And
the
Chicago
best
didn't have it.
linebacker in
So
the league.
either way,
Fine. The second
Best
best
linebacker in the
running.
league resides in San Francisco, just for the
yeah,
record.
clearly,
Fine. Fine. The
clearly.
second best linebacker in the league behind what's his face, Fred Wagner. After that, then it's him. All right. So yeah, I think the Baltimore spread at 3 seems like a lot, but outright, I would take them.
Hey, did you guys know that Jared Goff
Yeah,
is one of
I
the most
Baltimore today.
profitable quarterbacks? Huh?
I would bet that. Yeah, they cover
Yeah.
all the time. I see it.
Yep.
Well, Jared Goff, y'all ready to apologize to Jared Goff for all the slander that we saw over the years? And I told you the
There was
man was
nothing
fine. I
said
told you the
about
man was
Jared Goff
fine.
that wasn't true. There was
That's
not one
not. He
thing
went to the
said.
Super Bowl. Y'all act like he didn't do anything or accomplish anything. He went to the Super
He
Bowl.
was
He ran that offense
horrible in the Super Bowl. He was horrible. A bunch of quarterbacks
in
that
the
got into
Super
the Super Bowl
Bowl.
that aren't good. A
It
bunch of
happens.
quarterbacks that got into the Super Bowl that aren't good.
Well,
There's a long list of quarterbacks who've been in the Super Bowl that aren't good.
he won a lot of games. They were always in contention, and now he's on another team. He's done it multiple times. What do you want?
He hasn't won a lot of games on that team. You slander Mike Tomlin for never having a losing season. This man has yet to have a winning season in Detroit, and you're acting like he's the best quarterback in the league. What are we talking about?
I got a question for you. If you want to compare Jared Goff to Mike Tomlin, I'm here for that argument every day. If that's the level you say Mike Tomlin
How
is,
can you treat
we agree.
how can you treat a man like he's accomplished anything when he hasn't even gone to the playoffs yet? They had a losing season last year.
All I'm
You
saying,
kept slandering the Lions and their head coach for their lack of success, but getting all this praise. Now you want to attribute the same thing you slandered the coach for to golf.
they
It's I
5-1
don't
this
understand.
year. You have to give him credit. I give him credit this year. They're
I don't have
5-1.
to give nobody credit for 6 games.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Corey,
MVP candidate.
That's not
you know how this goes, bro. We ain't gonna never get him to admit that he was wrong. He still hate on Leonard Fournette. So we ain't gonna never get
Why
him.
would I not hate on that man? Are you serious?
He got your boy his last ring.
That's your boy in the ring. Playoff Lenny.
Got your boy his last ring.
If that's what you think the 4th pick in the draft's career was supposed to look like, have at it.
Hey,
Better than a lot of first picks. Better than a lot.
A lot of running backs made a lot of money off Tom Brady.
This is a good question though. Why are defenses ahead of offenses? I want to hear from Ronnie first, so he can apologize to me.
I think a lot of it is very conservative, non-creative play calling. The only like truly daring team I think in the league is Miami. It's their play calling is not aggressive. It's very copycat. No, not many people are innovating, and they're scared to innovate because, or you can't copy Miami because you don't have Miami's personnel, even though they try to copy some of the mirth. But a lot of teams are very conservative and playing very close to the vest. And it just might be because the quarterbacks, like I look at the top 5 quarterbacks, and you got to put Justin Herbert in the top 5 almost, or Trevor Lawrence. And to me, those aren't top 5 level quarterbacks. It's by default.
Yeah, no, I think the answer is yes. I think the issue is just how great, which doesn't get talked about, is how great the current crop of linemen and edge rushers are. Like, if it's a numbers game, if you can't run the football, which most coaches cannot and will not, and you have, in my opinion, the best one-on-one pass rushers this league has ever seen as a collective, then you're already paying ahead in the advantage game. And so I think that it's not necessarily a lack of creativity, the lack of an ability to run the football, and the type of nuance it takes to run the football and still be able to spread people out. That's the biggest issue. And if there's anything I give Miami credit for, is that they can run the football with 6 and 7 personnel, and not actually have to have 2 tight ends or a fullback back there to run it. So that would be my biggest thing. It's just the defensive line play is just incredible, and what you have to do to actually get the ball off for combination routes it's tough, man. It's tough to have to chip people and still have enough in actual coverage. I mean, that actually running routes to be effective.
Yeah, I think the evolution of the D line has reached its climax. I mean, we kind of saw this coming anyway, but it's really the interior D linemen that have evolved, and I think that's definitely what's getting it done. Switching to the Browns versus Colts, you guys give me your take on that.
Deshaun's I like the Browns. I mean, the Browns are. I mean, I've been saying it all along. They're a really good football team, in my opinion. And Deshaun does just enough, you know. So as long as he can throw a little bit, then I think they win this game by a lot. And I nothing makes me happier than the Minshew getting exposed. He should be a starter for the last 3 years, and all he does is stink up the joint. The only time he's good is when he actually subs in, and there's not a week to prepare. I love the Minshew fall.
He's a great reliever, but he is not a starter. So I don't know why he's so bad, but he is really bad whenever he starts. And I think it's part personality, and I think he's had a few good games on TV. And I like him, but you can't start that man. He's not a starting quarterback. And I think they're going to get blown out. Well, I don't think the Browns can blow out anybody, but that defense is going to annihilate them.
What do you guys make of Deshaun Watson's injury? Like, I don't know much about it. It's kind of weird. He's got a shoulder injury. Sounds like a rotator cuff injury.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, I heard he was seeking out like baseball.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No. Like anytime there's a rotator cuff injury, they usually try to find people who work with pitchers and stuff like that. Yeah. But
that's odd. Considering the fact that he hasn't played consistently in the last 3 or 4 years. He hasn't played consistently, even with these injuries. What, maybe 10 games? Maybe.
Yeah, so I thought that was weird. But I'm going to take the Browns. I mean, it's a traditional letdown spot for a team like Cleveland after they just had an emotional win against the Niners. But I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see. We got some comments here. The dude in the league that really needs a massage. You're right.
I'm telling you, he need that help.
It must have been a hit. Richard said rewind the tape and look how he got popped. So it must have been a hit. I'm gonna start this one and then I gotta bounce because work is calling. But the Bills and
I can't hear y'all now.
Oh, you can't hear me now? Oh snap! Here we go with technical difficulties again.
Can you hear me? I can hear him.
He probably didn't turn his mic on.
This is not our day for technical issues.
The Bills and the Patriots. If there was ever a time where you could just take a Hail Mary shot on something, I guess today would be the day for the Patriots. But one of the things I highlighted on the podcast was that the Patriots are good at taking away the best player for a team. And the Bills haven't shown much urgency in spreading the ball around this year. Like even more so than years past. Like they've always been a heavy Diggs offense, but like it's kind of excessive now. So if they were in fact able to limit Diggs' play, what are the Bills going to look like? Are we going to see them struggle like they did against the Giants? They almost seem like they're due for some regression here because they've got significant injuries at all three levels of their defense, but the Patriots suck. Like they just can't get anything going on offense. So what do you guys think about today's game? Is it a chance for the Patriots to upset?
I could tell you're a preacher son because you long-winded. I thought you had to go.
I'm just trying to get my time in so I can get out of here and then make sure
it sounds like
good.
Man, Corey, he just said, I'm not going to preach a sermon, but...
No, he's stuck on... No, look, he's stuck on my screen. So I was trying to give him time to get his stuff together. Yeah.
He's still stuck. Well, I'll try to go with it. I don't know what's going on with him. But I don't think the Patriots, the Bills, there's always a threat of having a letdown situation. Like last week, there was no reason that they struggled against the Giants other than maybe London. You could blame it on London. They got to London. They didn't play well. Then you have jet lag coming back. But I don't. Bills are like that. The Bills will have games where they blow a team out or they struggle against teams they shouldn't struggle against. So that's the conundrum of the Bills. But I do think I wouldn't put money on it, but the Patriots are awful. And sometimes awful is just awful. I know a lot of money's on the Bills coming in gambling wise, but 8.5 seems like a lot to go on the road against a rival with the way they struggled last week. Granted, the Patriots are horrible, but if I had to take it, I'd take the Bills, but Jesus.
It's actually down to 7.5.
Oh, wow. So the money is coming in on the Patriots.
Corey looks like he's good. I'm going to bounce.
All right.
Luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. How do you see it going, Corey?
I got the Bills, man. They had their scare. I don't think they're going to come out flat again, especially against the Patriots. And we just got to call the Patriots for what they are, which is not good.
That's what I'm saying. They're just bad. Let's not risk the audio issues and get to the good games. Not Dallas. I wish it was. The Dolphins and the Eagles. What Sunday night game? What do you think is wrong with the Eagles offense?
I don't know, man. I'm not even ventured to say that anything's wrong. Like they're still putting up 28, 27 most games. The Jets are a good defense. So like, I don't think they should score 30 points every game. So I don't know that there's anything wrong. I would say if there's one thing that looks to be alarming, it's Jalen Hurts' kind of regression. He always had games like this, but now it's not just aberrations. It's kind of like every other game. He's just become way more inconsistent than he was last year, which I think he was due for, right? Like I think some of the stuff that they were doing, you're ultimately going to be able to prepare for eventually. They don't run combination routes. They just either run like hooks or flies. It's not like it's not complicated, their offense. It's never been. So I think that's some of the issues. The receivers aren't getting as much separation. The throws are tougher. The windows are smaller. No one respects the run game. So, and they're kind of scared to continue to do it. So I think that's the biggest thing. But I don't really think their offense is fundamentally broken. I think they're 5-1, and the game they lost, they had 4 turnovers, and you're not going to win games where you turn the ball over 4 times. So those are the biggest things for me. But I don't see any issues with their offense really. They look fine to me.
I see it on the margins. And now we're comparing it to last year where they were jerking out. I see it on the margins. I see play, I think it's play calling. I see it where you're running screen, you're running tight end screens for Dallas Goedert, and you had Devontae Smith blocking, like small things, not getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers as often as you can. And it's more like a Dallas offense where you're trying to beat, like you were kind of saying, you're trying to beat with talent instead of with scheme. And I think they're missing Shane Steichen. I think they're missing some of the nuance. First year coordinator, I think they're missing some of the nuance. So it's on the margins, but sometimes that's enough for your quarterback to not look as good. Who you got? 1.5 Philly. They're at home. Night game.
I mean, I got Philly and maybe big. We've already seen what the Dolphins look like when they get hit in the mouth. So good luck against that Eagles defense if you don't like getting hit in the mouth. I think Tyreek has a big game. I think AJ has a big game. And I got Philly by double digits.
We're going to disagree on this one. I got Miami by double digits. I think they're going to explode Philly. Jalen Carter will be playing, but they can stretch things out horizontal and vertically. And Philly's linebackers are terrible. And I don't think you can beat Miami because of the things they do over the middle. If you can't control the middle of the field, you can't beat them. And I think Philly's linebackers are horrible. And I think I honestly, and you can get me, but I think Philly's offense, I think Philly's going to get embarrassed.
I don't see it.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more game. Chargers and the Chiefs. We got the Chargers. You never know. They lost a close game to Dallas. They aren't consistent. In a lot of ways, they're a poor man's Dallas. They find ways to lose. Herbert throws back-breaking interceptions, or their line lets them down. There's always something with the Chargers. The Chiefs haven't looked nearly as explosive as they did last year, so it's an interesting game. And the Chargers generally play them close. It is National Tight Ends Day, so they do have a sense of humor. So look for Kelsey to get off and get going. They're too cute by half. And the only way I can see the Chiefs winning is they get into their too cute by half kind of things.
Yeah, I think what we don't talk about is how good the Chiefs defense has been. I think
it's been really good.
People only mention the offensive regression without talking about that's a top 5 defense. So I just don't like anything I see from the Chargers. I think Mike Williams is a big absence for them. They can't stretch the field at all now. So I like the Chiefs here, and I like them to cover.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed with Quentin Johnson so far. I think Herbert, early on, I think this is Herbert's worst season. Without looking at stats, it just feels like it's the worst season he's had. And they had that crucial stat.
Every close game.
Yeah, they do. And he's thrown 13 or 14 fourth quarter picks in his career. And it can't all be him. I don't know. It's tough. If you need to play, he's not your guy.
They also have bad coaching. Like, we want to talk about bad coaching. That's one of the worst coach teams there is.
He's got a bad defensive coach, and that is interesting because it's the same guy. It's the same Chargers team as they had when who was the guy that got fired? I can't remember his name. He was also
the guy before, whoever it was. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to fire the defensive coach if it's not getting done and get somebody that's going to cater to your quarterback. You got any before we go? You got any good daily fantasy picks?
We can go back to the Eagles game real quick. It was just a point I wanted to make. Tua does not look like the same quarterback when pressured. And that's my biggest thing. All. And he's going to get pressured today. So what does that look like? And can they score 30-plus points? Because I think they're going to need to score 30-plus points today to win. So
is he going to get pressured? I think they're going to get rid of the ball really quickly and game plan around it. I don't think he's going to get that much pressure. Well, you got to get him in the front four. No team hides their offensive line better than Miami. Because they aren't.
And it's easy to do when you got to have 2 high safeties on Tyreek, but Philly, in my opinion, has the cojones to not play 2 high safeties and bump those dudes and get to them and say you won't have enough time to throw.
All right, give me some daily fantasy picks.
Kenneth Walker, huge game today. That's a pretty chalk pick, but huge game. And I actually like the Skins today. I like Curtis Samuels. I like Howell. I like some of those Skins players. They're all underpriced. And then probably my sleeper of the day. Let's go with Wendell Robinson. Tyrod's not going to stretch the field. So underneath guys for the I really like a lot there. And then I don't mind Saquon as well. He got 20 plus touches last week. I could see him have an explosion game against a very suspect Washington defense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our Week 7 NFL preview show. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to all of our various platforms. Enjoy your NFL Sunday.